Right now, so about 60 people are still looking for parking. Or maybe there's another exam. I just want to go over the same problem that I was working on Monday. And remember, the very first thing that we had to do, we need to decide on the stiffness. And whenever we have both ends of this span that can resist and will resist a moment, we're going to use 4EI over 30. This is a continuous beam, as you already know. So from B to C, also 4EI over 30. And from C to D, 4EI over 30. Today, I'm going to show you when we are going to modify the stiffness in order to save time. And like any other problem, we had to compute the fixed end moment by using this table. So remember, in this table, all of them here are negative. All of the one on the right are positive. The exception to the rule is the one at the bottom of the page, that both of them, they are negative and they go in the opposite direction that the movement of this beam. That's the exception to the rule. But in general, all the moments on the left hand side, they're going to be negative. All the ones on the right hand side, they're going to be positive. So using this table, we computed the fixed moment. W squared over 12, negative on the left. W squared over 12, positive on the right. The same in this span, that you know there are two type of loads, a uniform and a point load. That's why the one on the left hand side, W squared over 12, and we need to have PL over A. That is the first case when the load is in the middle. On the right hand side is also WL squared over 12 and PL over A, but one is negative and one is positive. This one we have to be careful because they call this letter A on this side, this letter B in the table. And this is the one that people get confused. Whenever this is large, they call it A and they call it B. If it changes, they change B and A. You cannot change. This A always remain there, and this B always remain there for the formula. So the computation of the fixed end moment for the last one is PAB squared over L squared, negative. The one closer to the support, one closer to the support is going to be the largest moment. And the one on the right hand side is P L squared B over, sorry, P A squared B over L squared. And at the support, because this is a fixed support, 0 and 0. So yesterday we built our table. We also compute the distribution factor. For the moment distribution, we had to compute the distribution factor. At each joint, at joint B, we only had two members. At joint B, we had two members. These are the stiffness. At joint C, two members. Those are the stiffness. And it happened that by computation, by chance, the distribution factor can 0.5 for all of them. So we started with this table yesterday, and we finished the table. In this table, we had the joint, we had the members, distribution factor. We had to be careful. In this case, it made no difference. We made a mistake because they are 0.5 and 0.5, sometimes 0.6, 0.4. We had to be careful not to reverse. And of course, the fixed moment, we know where we are and where to put them. So joint B is not in equilibrium. Joint C is not in equilibrium. Joint A, it is always because it's a fixed support. Joint D is always in equilibrium. So when we started this problem, yesterday, we started this problem and we did a distribution. I stopped in here. I had added all of them, all the moments and this is what it gives me. So this is where we stop on Monday. So what we have to do now, we have to interpret the answer. All of these moments are the final moments at the end of the member. So to plot, for instance, this moment is AB and this moment is BA. 160.81. The 160.81, it is counterclockwise, and 218.39 clockwise. The reason is this is negative, means counterclockwise. We don't use the sign. We only use the direction. So minus counter, plus clockwise. So for each one of these moments, the moments at the end, I have created a free body diagram. So for each one of these moments at the end, I have put for member AB, this is moment AB. At the end of member AB, this is moment BA. This is member BC. At the end of member BC at B, this is moment BC. This is moment CB. For this one, this is moment C, D, and this is moment DC. And the load is given. The load is given. So we only have one equation and one unknown. We apply moment about this point, we solve for this force. Summation of forces in Y, we solve for this. We do the same for this free body diagram. Moment about this point, we solve for this force. Summation of forces in Y, we find this. We do the same for the last one. And after you have found this reaction that they are the shear forces, we do the shear and the moment diagram. This value 3792 and 4427, together they are the reaction at B. This value 4773 and 4463, together they are the reaction at C. So once you get this free body, you can plot the shear, you can plot the moment diagram for all of them. The value that is not known is the value between points A and B. So the moments at the end of the members, this moment in here and this moment in here, they come from moment distribution. But this one, the only way that we can know this is we need to find where the shear force is equal to 0. When the shear force is equal to 0, the moment is a maximum. We do the same with this one. We know this moment at this end, moment at this end. We don't know this. We find when the shear is equal to 0, the moment is going to be a maximum. And the same happens in this one. We know the moments at the end, but we don't know between C and D, when the shear is equal to 0, the moment is maximum. That's why it's very important to do the shear diagram to know where the moment is going to be a maximum. Any questions about this problem before I start a different one? Okay. Yes, hold on. Okay, where's the question? Okay, what's the question? $1.77 on BC. This is BC 1.77 from BC and so on. The table 1.77. No, but what we're talking about? We're talking about the 1.77. Now you confuse me. Okay, look. When we started this problem yesterday, we balanced this joint first. So what we did when we started this problem, we went to joint B. And at joint B, we have plus 180 minus 255. So right now, if you find this moment, right now, if we do this, what is the moment that we have left in that? This is minus 75. Right now it's a minus 75, not a plus 75. So to put this joint in equilibrium, joint B is not in equilibrium. To have summation, and we do this for any joint. To do summation of moments at B equal to 0, I need to put plus 75. That means summation of moment is equal to 0. So right now, when we start with a plus 180 minus 255, I have minus 75, I have to put plus 70. This plus 75 goes to the joint. It has to be distributed. It's like payday between member BA and BC. Each one work the same amount of time. Each one get 50% of that. So this is going to be plus 37.5 plus 37.5. And this is what I did in here. Do you see the plus 37 and plus 37.5 visual? I think that you asked. Do you see this in here? Okay. So whatever I put on this side, 50% goes, the carryover factor take 50% to the opposite side. The carryover factor take 50% to the opposite side. This line means equilibrium or balance. In here, always in equilibrium because of fit. But now joint C had 255. Right now, joint C has plus 255 minus 266.67 and plus 18.75. So right now, this joint C, plus 255 minus 266 plus 18.75. So if you add all of this, I'm going to have a plus what? Anybody? I don't have my calculator. 7.0, and that's correct. You can do it in your head, you don't need to calculate. So to put it in equilibrium, you need to put a minus 7.08. So to put it in equilibrium, you need to put an equal and opposite, and 50% go to each one of the members. Why 50%? Because the distribution factor happened to be, and so that's minus 354, minus 354. Whatever I put in here, 50% goes to the opposite end because that is the carryover factor. 50% goes to the opposite. Okay. Now, Vijay, do you know where it came from? And we finished. The other day I said we need to continue until almost nothing. And when we stopped, and that's where we stopped the other day, we had all these moments. We have these moments, and with these moments, we're going to put it at the end of the member. AB, negative, counterclockwise. BA, positive clockwise. BC, negative, counter. CB, positive clockwise. CD, negative, counter, and this clockwise. And this is what I did in this page. So on this page, I put the moment that we computed from the moment distribution table, and one negative in the moment and positive in the table. Okay. 218. The sign convention. The sign convention from the table. The sign convention is negative, we plot it counterclockwise. Positive, we put it clockwise. So this moment, based on the sign convention, this is the way we put this moment. Negative on the moment diagram and positive. Okay, so based on the table, we select this direction and we forget the sign. Now, Christina, look, this moment in here, look the direction. This moment is putting the compression at the top or the bottom of the member. Look, this moment in here. Where, for this member, where is the compression? Top or bottom? Look, this direction, this moment, where is the compression? Top or bottom? And for VA, the same. Look at VA, bottom. So, and look, you can call this negative. You can call it positive. You call it negative, I call it positive. But we both will agree that it's at the bottom. That's where the compression. So the sign convention is just a convention. What we do, we plot always on the compression side of the beam. You can call it negative, I call it positive, but we both know that this is below this line and this is the compression. This is compression and this is the compression. And that's the sign convention that for this moment diagrams in day one. So please don't get confused. This in here tell you the direction on the table. But where do we plot it? We follow where the compression is. That's where we put it. Any other questions? All right. I'm going to go to the next problem. I'm going to use this problem to show you how to modify the stiffness, to show you how to solve this problem quicker whenever we modify the stiffness. Why are we going to modify the stiffness? Because look, no matter how many thousands of computations I made, no matter how small the computer or how huge the computer is, when we finish, what is going to be the moment at A? What is the magnitude of the moment here when I'm done with all my computation? High tech, low tech, zero. So what we want to do is this is zero, we're going to modify the stiffness. I'm not going to modify the stiffness right now. I'm going to show you the long way. Because if we do not modify the stiffness, we can solve the problem, but it's going to take us 30 minutes, what we can do in 5 minutes. So first, number one, I'm going to solve it the old-fashioned way. So the stiffness of this membrane will be 4EI over 40, and this is 4EI over 30. So I'm not modifying the stiffness. I'm doing the same that I did from the previous problem. Later, I will. So the fixed moment AB and BA in the table, WL squared over 12. This one also W squared over 12. This one is negative. On the left-hand side, this is positive. This comes from this table. It comes from this table. And so all the fixed moments come from this table. This is the W squared over 12, negative, W squared over 12 positive. So I'm computing the moment. The low is 3.6, W squared over 12, negative, W squared over 12. The same happens on this side. The span is only 30. So it's going to be W squared over 12 and W squared over 12. The only thing that changed, instead of 40, 30, minus and plus. You have to be careful because I is 2,000 and I is 1,500. The distribution factor at this location, because it's only one member framing into this joint, one member, this divided by the same number, 1. At the roller, external roller or pin, always 1. At the wall, always 0. So we only need to compute BA and BC. So I computed it here, look. From B to A, 4EI over 40, I is 2,000 over 40, over the summation of all the stiffness, and we only have 2 stiffness. So 4EI, 4E, 2,000 over 40, plus 4E, 1,540. It happened to be 0.5 also. So I have prepared a table in here. The same way that we prepare the table, look, joint A, I have one member AB, distribution factor 1. Joint B has 2 members, BA, BC, BA, BC. Distribution factor 0.5, 0.5. And joint C has one member CB, distribution factor 0. 0 because it's fixed. 1 because only one member. And it happened by accident, 0.5, 0.5. All of these are the fixed moment. Then the moment here had to be 1 or 0, sorry. There's no moment in here. I started in here. It had a minus 480. I put a plus 480. This line means balance. This line means equilibrium. Whatever I put at this end, the carryover factor takes 50% across. So I had in here minus 480. I put an equal and opposite. Now we have 0. 50% goes across. Now this joint is not in equilibrium. And if you look at joint B right now, I have 480 minus 270 plus 240. 480 plus 240 minus 270. 480 plus 240 minus 270. Right now, this joint is not in equilibrium. Why is not in equilibrium? Because summation of moments is different than 0. To have summation of moments equal to 0, I need to put an equal and opposite. I have plus 450 minus 450, 0. But this minus 450 had to be distributed. That's why it's called this moment distribution. Some moment goes to BA, some moment goes to BC. So since we had distribution factor 0.5, I had to put minus 225 and minus 225. And means equilibrium. Anybody had a question where I get 225 in here? Anybody? Computation plus 480 plus 240 minus 270, I had plus 450. Equal and opposite minus 450, 50% comes to here, 50%. The carryover factor will take 1/2 across. So 1/2 across is minus 1 what? Somebody write that, minus 1. Give me the number, I will answer your question. Minus 1, 100, 225 times 0.5, 112.5. And minus 112. Okay. There's a question, why did I start with 480? I can start at any joint that is not in equilibrium. I can start any joint that is not in equilibrium. We started minus 480 plus 400 minus 270. Is joint C, can I start in joint C? And it's Derek, you are the one that I know is here. Can I start a joint Z? No, because always in equilibrium. I can start a joint B because I had this, or I can start this joint because they're not in equilibrium. So the answer is we can start at any joint that is not in equilibrium. Any other question? So what we had done, we started at this joint equal and opposite 50% across. With all of these moments, we determine we have plus 450 minus 450, 225, 225 negative, 50% across, 50%. So now I need, look, this is in equilibrium, this is equilibrium. This is the only one that is not in equilibrium. So I need to come to this one. To put in equilibrium this one, I need to put an equal and opposite. So plus 112.5 balance. And I need to send to the opposite side 50% plus 56.25. So every time that we go to what we call one cycle of moment distribution, the moment becomes smaller and smaller. Every time that we are putting a moment at the joint, what we're doing, we are rotating the joint. So if you remember this from the previous method, what we're doing every time that with the moment we're rotating this joint until we get very close to this, because moment distribution is an approximation. But every time that we put a moment at the joint, we're rotating the joint. We're trying to approach the theta at that joint. And I was saying, look, right now, what do I need to do with joint B? What do I need to do with this joint? Anybody tell me, what do I do with that joint that is not in equilibrium? What do I need to give to this joint to put in equilibrium? Write me the moment and the sign of the moment to put this joint in equilibrium. What do I need to do with this to put in equilibrium? Minus. I need to put, and that is correct, I need to give this joint minus 56.25. 50% comes to this side, 50% comes to the other side. So this is minus 28.125 minus 28.1. 25. And that means equilibrium. But I need to keep 50% across and 50% across because of the carryover factor. And that is 14.06. And if you look at 14.06 times 2 is 28.12. I'm throwing away these little things because it's an approximate. But I cannot throw large numbers away. So look, 28.1, 50%, 50%. What do I do next? This is equilibrium, always an equilibrium. Which joint is not an equilibrium? When you look at this table, what joint is not an equilibrium? Anybody? A, B. So I need to put in here a plus 14.06 because now summation of moments equal to 0. But this sent to the opposite side, the carryover factor takes 7.03. I'm going to answer your question. Let me put this. Question about the carryover factor is always 0.5. So I'm going to switch to something that I wanted to tell you. From slope deflection, we know when the near end is pinned and the far end is fixed, whatever moment I put in here, 50% goes to the opposite side. How do we know that? Because this is 4EI theta A over L. And this one by computation is 2EI theta L over L. So the carryover factor, 1/2. Whenever we use 4EI over L. Because below we had the stiffness modification. Whenever we had a near end that is a pin and a far end that is a pin of a roller. This moment now is 3EI theta L over L, and nothing goes to the opposite end. So carryover factor 0. Those are the case. We do not calculate the distribution factor. The 0.5 had nothing to do with the distribution factor. The distribution factor is to distribute the moment. This is whatever moment I put in here, 50% goes out. The distribution factor is something different. It's how much moment goes to each one. So look how much work. What is the next step in here? Now, what am I supposed to do? Which joint is not in equilibrium right now? This joint. So to the joint, I need to give a minus 7.03 distributed, and I just want to cut corner. This is the same problem. I just want to cut corner back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until, look, the moment 0 in here, I just throwing this away, the moment 0 has to be 0. So I'm going to solve the same problem by changing the stiffness. I'm going to solve the same problem by changing the stiffness. You can see how fast we can finish this problem. So I'm using for this problem, as you can see the problem that I just did. I'm using 4EI, 4EI. This is 0.5, this is 0.5, this was the fixed moment. So look how much work to prove that this is 0. I'm going to modify the stiffness. So this is the same problem. But I'm going to modify the stiffness. Look, this is a stiffness modification. This is, I'm going to use this in here. I'm going to use the 3RL because the moment at the end is 0. So to solve this problem, the same problem, this in here now is going to be 3EI/L. And this is still 4EI/L. Why? Because there is a moment in here, there is a moment in there is a moment on this side, but there's no moment in here. So I'm modifying my stiffness. That means that the carryover factor from here to there is 0. If I modify my stiffness, the carryover factor here is 0, and here 1/2. But look what happened to joint B. Joint B, 3EI/L over summation of the stiffnesses framing into the joint. Now it's 0.43 and the other one is 0.57. So look at the difference. Before distribution factor of 0.43, before was 0.5 and 0.5, now it's 0.43 and 0.57. Okay, so look. We wasted a lot of time to solve this problem because I consider 4EI and 4EI. Whenever I consider 4EI indirectly, I'm saying that I had this condition, 1/2. When I modify the stiffness, I have 0 in here. So we wasted time going back and forth to end up with 0. So now instead of doing that and saying, I'm going to modify my stiffness. Stiffness modification means 3EI/L. This remains the same, 4EI/L. So now I join B, the new distribution factor, 3EI/L over 3EI/L and 4EI/L. So now I have 0.43 and 0.57. Before I have 0.5 and 0.5. Every time that I use 3EI/L, the carryover factor is 0. Where the list of different stiffness? Where the list? Here is. The only 2 stiffnesses. The only 2 cases. Whenever we had the far end is fixed. Whatever moment I put in here, this is going to be 50% carryover factor 1/2. Stiffness 4EI/L. Whenever the moment at the far end is 0, stiffness 3EI/L, carryover factor 0. So the same problem that I just did, but I'm gonna make it faster and make it shorter for everybody. I'm modifying my stiffness. Why? Because the moment in here is 0. Everybody told me moment 0. So I modified this 3EI/L. This is still 4EI/L. So my new distribution factor 0.43 and 0.47. Also something else. Since the moment is 0, I'm going to use the right-hand side of the table. I'm going to use this. The moment is W correct. But my support, in my case, this is in here, and this is on the other end. So since in my case, this wall comes to here, this roller comes to here. So the moment in here is kind of clockwise. If I move the wall to here and the roller to there, what is going to be the direction of the moment in here if I put the wall to here? Clockwise or kind of clockwise? If I move this wall to here and the roller. Clockwise. So it's going to be positive. Look at what's happening here. I'm using W squared over A because that is the new moment in here. W squared over A whenever I had this condition. So I'm starting with W squared over A, positive, and from B to C, the same as before. So look how my table looks like now. Look at 0.43, 0.57, 720, 27. AB, the decision factor is still 1. B, now it's 0.43 and 0.57, before it was 0.5 and 0.5. This is still 0. These moments are still the same, but this is 720. Just to give you something to think about. Look at the 720. Somebody asked me, why do you start on this side? Now, please add these two moments. What do you get when you add these two moments? Anybody add it in your head? $180 and $240. What do you find? These two. 400, 720. Look what I had before. Look, I have 720. The same. Just think about that. Okay, question for everybody. This is a fixed support. Do I need to do anything to this joint? Anything to this joint? Yes or no? It's a fixed support. You can see it here. Nothing to do with fixed support. So the only joint that is not in equilibrium, the only joint is this one, B. What do I have at B? At B right now, I have, I'm gonna write it here, plus 720 minus 270. Right now, I have plus 450. Right? So at this joint, I have plus 720 minus 250 at this joint. So I have plus 450. I need to put in equilibrium for summation of moments equal to 0. I need to put in minus 450. 0. But this minus 450 has to be distributed into this joint. 43% come to this side. 57% come. That is why it's called moment distribution, because it distributes the moment at each joint. So minus 450 times 0.43 and minus 450 times 0.57. 43% comes to this member, 57 is based on the stiffness. So this is minus 193.50 and minus 256.50. So this is like two of you work, one does 43% of the work, you get $193.50. You do 0.57 of the work, you get $256.50. It's a very fair distribution because in a indeterminate structure, all the members work. And how do they participate, resist in the moment based on stiffness, 4EI, 3EI over L. So 43% is minus 193.50. And 57% minus 256.50. The carryover factor will take 50% across, so this 50% is minus 128.25. Just a moment, Bicho. Okay, let me finish it. So we distribute this. 50% goes. How much do I need to send to here? How much do I need to send to this one in here? Anybody? Nothing, Christina, nothing, because I'm modifying the stiffness. When I said 3EI over L, whenever I say 3EI over L, whenever I'm using the 3EI over L, carryover factor 0. Nothing, absolutely nothing goes to the opposite end. So nothing goes to this end. But of course, because using 4EI, 50% goes to. Now, there's a question. The fixed moment is 0 for A. B, C, we assume is a support and not fixed, right? The fixed moment is 0. BCS, we assume it as a support and not fixed. Oh, because, see? All right, look. Because defense 0 for R, because we assume it's a support and not fixed, right? Look, we're not assuming anything. We are not assuming anything. We know there's no moment here. So we're looking at the real structure. Right now, we consider that its moment is going to be 0. So from the beginning, we are recognizing this, that is 0. That's why whenever we use the 3EI or L, we say, look, this is a roller or a pin. Come from here. From the same. Look, there's no moment here because of the type of support. There was a moment in here because of the type of support. There was a carrier factor, the 0. So it is a pin. That's why the moment in here is going to be equal to 0. So we got to this point. This is 0, this is balance, this is always an equilibrium. What else do I need to do? What else? Do I still have more work? Anything else that I need to distribute? Any joint that I need to put in equilibrium? This is balance, this is always balance. So this is the end of the problem. Because I send 50% to a fixed support and take an incredible, an infinite amount of moment. This is equilibrium, nothing goes to there. The program is finished in one line. So what I need to do next is add the moment. Of course, this is 0. This is here is minus 526.50. Sorry, this is plus, and this is minus 526.50, and this is plus 141.70. So we add the moment, equal and opposite because it's the joint, and we add the moment. So this is the end of the problem. So instead of going through, look how many computations, because I didn't modify the stiffness, look how much work, we can solve this problem with one line. The problem is finished with one line. Yes, Christina, the reason why the carryover, look, right now we are considering it's a thing. Why? Because we're using the 3EI data LRL. We're saying it's a pin, so nothing else. Before, when I did the problem a different way, when I solved the same problem before, I assumed that it was fixed. I was using the 4EI over 40. That's why I had to go through a whole bunch of computation, to finally arrive to the same value, 0. So what we're doing right now, we're saying it is a pin with roller. So I'm going to use the 3EI over L. And by using the 3EI over L, we were able, look, 3EI, we're saying from here to there, carryover factor is 0. So we were able to solve this problem in one line. So this is the importance of modifying the stiffness. It reduces the amount. Any question? So the next step is to do the free body. I'm going to put the first free body. Put the second one. If we had two rollers at the end. I let me finish this and I'll tell you what happens if we had two rollers. That's a very good question. Look, AB 0, BA 526.50. Based on this moment is clockwise or counterclockwise. Look, moment BA. What is the direction? Based on this. Anybody, clockwise or counterclockwise? Clockwise, good. The other one is the same because it has to be equal and opposite. What is the direction here? With this minus. What is the direction here? Or this one? Minus. And finally, 141.75. What is the direction here? This is positive. Clockwise. So now the problem is finished because you can compute the reaction and do your shear and the moment. Now I'm going to answer the question that's in the form of the question. I'm going to create a problem for you. We modify. Okay. Look, how many spans is this beam? How many spans do we have in here? Tell me, anybody, how many spans? This is what is called a continuous beam. How many spans do we have? Anybody? Good. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do moment distribution because this is indeterminate. Look, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unknown, minus 3, third degree of determinant. I'm going to use the most powerful computer in the whole planet. Even I'm going to borrow a computer from the Martian. What is going to be the moment at A when I finish? What's going to be the moment, the magnitude of the moment at A? 0, no matter what. What about at E, the same super duper computer? What's going to be the moment here? 0. So now based on what I told you, the stiffness for AB, do I need to use 4EI over L or 3EI over L? What do I need to use in here to save time to pass my course? 3EI over L. Good. This is the one that people get confused. Look, this is a continuous member over the support. There's going to be a negative moment. The same continuous is going to be negative. What do I use in here? 4EI or 3EI? 4. Exactly. What about the next one? What do I need to use in here? 4 or 3? 4. What about this one? What do I need to use? 3. So the carryover factor for this span is 1/2. The carryover factor for this span, 1/2. What is the carryover factor for this span? What do I have to use for this span? Carryover factor here. And for here, what is also 0. Now, FOMO. Is that what you were asking or something else? I misunderstood. Tell me FOMO. Okay. So you have to know the importance of the 3EI or L. It saves time. It saves time, but we need to know how to use it. And also the table, a fixed end moment table, we have to become very familiar. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to introduce you to friends. These nodes are already in Blackboard. They're called moment distribution part 2. We have moment distribution part 3. Because I couldn't scan everything. I got to the limit of the scanner. So we have part 2. This is page 8 of 46. So if you open Blackboard, this is moment distribution part 2. But this is a frame. Right? Whenever we had a frame, we had to determine, is there any way that this frame, the entire frame, this frame could move to the right or move to the left? Because that will make a huge difference how we solve it. So this is a frame. This is the wind. Is there any way that C will move to here? Anybody? There's no way, because this is a pin. If I put a roller in here, is this point going to move to the right if I put a roller in here? Yes or no? But that would be a determinant structure, because it would be 2 plus 1. This is indeterminate. So number one, the first conclusion, no movement, what we call no lateral movement. So the first conclusion here is no lateral move. The lateral movement is also known as side sway. So some of you are going to be taking concrete in the summer. So you're going to be listening to side sway or lateral movement. In this one, no lateral movement. That's the first part of the problem. The second part of the problem. Member AB, 4EI over L or 3EI over L for member AB. 4EI or 3EI over L for member AB. I hope you're still there. 13 more minutes. What is it for this member, for this column? 4 or 3? Now, Visual, you Silver also. Look, what is the moment at A? What is the moment at A? 0. So why you want to use 4EI? You have to use 3EI over L. If you look at 400 and 900, normally, if this is I, this is 2.25I. Just a different way of solving the problem, I and 2.5I. So the stiffness of this member is going to be 3EI over L. 3E15. I'm going to put 2.25I. Since the moment is 0, I'm using 3EI over. Why I'm using 2.25I? Because this is 900. Now member BC, 3 or 4 EI? 3, because the moment is 0. So this is going to be 3 EI over 20. I'm using I because this is 400. Look, this force 3 exactly in the middle is going to produce a moment in here in the counterclockwise direction equal to 3 PL over 16. I'm going to show you that this one is going to produce a clockwise moment equal to W squared over 8. I'm going to show you in the table. Look at this. Fixed spin, W squared over 8. Look at this. When the low is in the middle, 3PL over 16. So, can you explain why it's 225? Yes, he already did. This, I'm calling the 400 I. You divide 900 by 400, 2.25 I. Michael, do you get that? So you don't want to get confused, call it 400 and 900. The point is 3 EIOL from both. There's going to be a moment in here produced, a fixed end moment produced by this 3PL over 16. It's going to be negative. There's going to be a moment only at this end, W squared over 8 positive. So there's going to be two moments in here. One produced by this load, one produced. What about these two? Is the two producing a moment? Anybody? No, because it's an axial law. So before we do any computation, I'm going to have two moments. I'm going to find the difference. I'm going to put it equal and opposite. Some moment goes to here, some moment goes to here. Whatever moment I put in here, how much is going to go to this opposite end? If I balance this joint, whatever moment I put, how much is going to go to this end? Anybody? Nothing. Nothing, because I'm using the 3 over L. Whenever I put the moment in here, nothing is going to. So I'm going to solve this frame in one line and only one line. Here comes the computation. Distribution factor, I join A, 1 because it's spin. I join C, 1 because it's also spin. Join B is the only one that I need to compute. Distribution factor from B to A, 3EI over L over 3 over L plus 3I over L. 0.75 from B to A, BC 0.25. I just want to point out that the distribution factors, they don't have to be the same. It happened that for a couple of examples, 0.5 and 0.5. But look, 0.75, 0.25. The fixed moment I was telling you, from B to A, is W L squared over A, positive. From B to C, 3P L over 16, negative. Look at my table. Joint A had member AB, distribution factor 1 because a pin. Joint B had two members from B to A, B to C. We already computed from B to A 0.75, B to C 0.25. Make sure that you don't reverse this. And joint C, 1 because of pin. To put this joint in equilibrium, the only joint that is not in equilibrium is B. So I have plus 14.063 minus 11.25. What is the moment? The moment that I have at that joint right now, because I didn't write it. Anyway, what is the moment? I didn't write this. Give me the plus what? 3. Anybody? Before you leave? 2.813? Is that correct? Okay. So 2.813 is positive. I need to put a minus 2.813 equilibrium. Minus 2.813 times 0.75 minus 2.813 times 0.25. To put an equilibrium, I put an equal and opposite. 75% is going to go to BA and 25% to BC. Give me this number, please. How much goes into here? Write the number, 2.11 minus 2.11. And the one from here, 0.546. Are you sure? Estela, you need a new calculator. Okay. And minus 0.7. Equilibrium. How much goes, you can do it in your head. How much goes to here? You can do it in your head? 0, correct. Because carryover factor is 0. But what about here? How much goes to here? How much goes to here? Do it in your head. 0, correct. Because that's the end of the problem. We're done. So we signed the moment. This comes up plus 11.95 minus 11.9. So this is the end of the difficult problem. You have solved a frame, a difficult frame in one line. Any question? Any questions about it? So when I want to plot, look, this is my moment. I'm going to plot the free body. I'm going to do member AB first. In here. The moment from B to A, 1195. positive. What is the direction? I didn't put the direction. I want you to tell me it's going to be clockwise or counterclockwise. Look, 1195 in here. What's the direction? Clockwise. Perfect. I'm going to put the beam. And remember that the moment has to be equal and opposite at 1195. What is the direction? If minus, what is the direction? Okay, perfect. And remember, these two have to be equal and opposite. So you have solved, and I have given to you already I'm giving to you already the shear, the moment diagram, the shear, and the moment diagram. So look, next week is our last week. I still have more problems to solve, but we're going to have a review. I just need to know which day is the best day and what the time on that day to have the review. Anybody want to make a proposal When can we have a review? We do have classes on Monday and Wednesday. I'm gonna use that time to lecture, but any outside the normal hours, any time, any day that you want to have a review. Anybody want to propose something? Tuesday, Friday, well, Friday, Tuesday or Thursday. Thursday. But what time? Thursday or Thursday, any day after one would be good. Thursday or Friday, Thursday. It looked like Thursday or Friday the best day, but I think that some people have classes on Friday. Which one is the best time on Thursday? Anybody want to tell me on Thursday at noon? Okay, and on Friday. Okay, so I'm gonna shoot for Thursday and noon. I don't know if I can find a room, but I Thursday the whole day. Well, we'll finalize that the date and the time. Also, I want you to tell you that the exam I'm going to give you, like I said before, two questions. One is going to be a bonus, and one is going to be a regular question. What I haven't decided is how many points I'm going to give you the bonus. What would be fair for everybody? Anybody want to suggest how many points for the bonus? 100 points. And 1,000. Somebody needs 1,000. So I need a point. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you next Wednesday what the bonus is going to be about. I'm gonna tell you what the bonus is going to be, what the two questions are going to be about. And also what I'm gonna try to do, it's very difficult because I know that our exam is from 3 to 3:50. Anybody had well, 4:50 to 4:50. Anybody had another exam at 5 on Monday the 11th? Anybody had another exam at 5? Anybody? Anybody had it's no, don't leave. No, okay. Because I might give you some extra time to upload. Of example, yes, they want to they change all the final exams they changed. You need to go to ASAP and look for the spring semester. You're gonna see in there your class, and you're gonna see the time of the exam. And you need to tell your professor because probably he or she doesn't know. Also, there is a schedule, another in ASAP. There's also another schedule of the time. But make sure that you look at ASAP and tell your professor because everything has changed. I was asking to the same for still. Asking about the extra time because I'm gonna give you some extra time just to upload, not to work the program, but to upload so you have more time. If for me it's easier to grade when everything is uploaded. If I understand do this for still for favor, no say, okay, maybe. Can we give bonus point on the still exam? No, the still exam just next semester probably. But when I look at the grade for a structure, people there, more people in danger of being killed in a structure than still. Okay. Any other thing? Well, I'm gonna quit. If you need help, just look for me for the grader. We're here to help you, but you never ask for help. No, some of you do. All right. Don't tell her. They don't know. I haven't told you. I haven't told you yet. Nobody know. Okay. Bye bye.